Now the people of Israel were in the wilderness, and by Exodus 30 it came about that as soon as Moses came near the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger burned, and he threw the tablets from his hand and shattered them at the foot of the mountain. Now this was a dreadful thing that Moses walked upon, because all the while Moses was up at the top of the mountain interceding on behalf of the people of Israel. Now when the people had saw that Moses delayed to come, this is what they did. Instead of waiting patiently, they gathered together to Aaron, and they said to him, "Come, make us gods that shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him." And Aaron said to them, "Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me." So all the people broke off the gold earrings which were in their ears, and brought them to Aaron. And he received the gold from their hand, and he fashioned it with an engraving tool, and made a molded calf. Then they said, "This is our God, O Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt." So when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made a proclamation and said, "Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord." Then they rose early on the next day, offered burnt offerings, and brought peace offerings, and the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. And the Lord said to Moses, "Go, get down, for your people whom you brought out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molded calf and worshipped it and sacrificed to it and said, 'This is your God, O Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt.'" And the Lord said to Moses, "I have seen this people, and indeed it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may burn hot against them, and I may consume them, and I will make of you a great nation." Then Moses pleaded with the Lord his God, and said, "Lord, why does your wrath burn hot against your people, whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Why should the Egyptians speak and say, 'He brought them out of the harm,' just to kill them in the mountains and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from your fierce wrath and relent from this harm to your people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, your servants, to whom you swore by your own self, and said to them, 'I will multiply your descendants as the stars of heaven.' And all this land that I have spoken of I give to your descendants, and they shall inherit it forever." So the Lord relented from the harm which he would have done to his people. And Moses turned and went down from the mountain, and the two tablets of the testimony were in his hand. The tablets were written on both sides, and on the one side and on the other side they were written. Now the tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God engraved on the tablets. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said to Moses, "There is a noise of war in the camp." But he said, "It is not the noise of the shout of victory, nor the noise of the cry of defeat, but the sound of singing I hear." So it was, as soon as he came near to the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing. So Moses' anger was hot, and he cast the tablets out of his hand and broke them at the foot of the mountain. They took the calf which they had made, burned it in the fire, and ground it in the powder, and he scattered it on the water, and made the children of Israel drink it. And Moses said to Aaron, "What did this people do to you, that you have brought so great a sin upon them?" So Aaron said, "Do not let the anger of my Lord become hot. You know the people, that they are set as evil. For they said to me, 'Make us gods that shall go before us.' As for this Moses, the man who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him." And I said to them, "Moreover, has any gold? Let them break it off." So they gave it to me, and I cast it into the fire, and this calf came out. This is a tragedy. You know, God just finished delivering them out of the hand of Pharaoh, and they could not wait a little while God spoke to Moses up at the top of the mountain, that they became stiff-necked and they became stubborn and decided that they were going to just turn aside into idolatry. Oh, how devastating. That the people would just begin to worship what has not really delivered them and say these things that will blaspheme against God. And all too often we have failed God. We have turned aside to our own way. We have not always been faithful. And then we've murmured and complained when things don't go our way, when we haven't received the things of God that we think that we believe are promised to us. We believe that we're redeemed, and then all of a sudden things are not going right in our lives, and we stop trusting, and we start looking unto other things to keep us, to guide us, like money and gold and things like that. Those things cannot save us. It is God who has us by his right hand. And thank God that his anger was not relented and did not consume us. I thank God. And even Aaron, who just listened to them and did what they asked, you know, he just was a servant and he did exactly what they told him to do. And does that happen in churches today? That we would, you know, start getting impatient and not wait on God to give us the deliverance, to help us to evangelize the true message of Christ, and that we will go on doing other things that are not in line with his word. So again, I just stay in his word and be encouraged, my people, that not all dancing, not all things are meant to be. But we have this thing, this worship that is available to us, but it is for us to give to God, because he seeks those who will worship him in spirit and in truth. Be encouraged and be blessed. Thank you.